So today we've come to Loch Tay and look at this view. That is beautiful.
You might be able to pick out on the camera, you may not, some very faint mountains over there which we think might be Ben Alder, which is the source of the Tay and the source of this giant and beautiful loch.
So we've arrived at the Tomnadashan copper mine, which was worked between 1838 and 1862, but it made such substantial losses that it was closed off very quickly.
Now at the Tomnadashan mine, some of you viewers might recognise it from something. If you watch movies, particularly comedy movies from the mid-1970s starring Monty Python, yes, you've guessed it, the Holy Grail, this was the scene where they have to go through the cave on their quest to find the Holy Grail, but there's a terrible, terrible beast that lurks within. The reveal of that being it's just a tiny little toy rabbit. It nevertheless causes much destruction and mayhem and gory violence before they finally finish it off with the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Interesting fact about that, you know the Royal Orb and Sceptre? They thought the orb looked like a grenade and basically decided to base the Holy Grenade of Antioch after that.
Well, we knew there had to be one somewhere, and he's already helped himself to a delicious sheep. Haven't you, evil bastard? Look at you. Andrew's found himself in a bit of a situation. There's only one way down and he can't use it. However, amongst these caverns, I have found another rabbit. I wonder how many there are in this place altogether. We've found 2 so far. Is there a 3rd? This particular bit at the back looks very steep, but it also looks like a massive imposing mouth with teeth on there going all the way down. So this is an impressive place. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Simon's discovered the innards of the mine, the deep core, the bowels, the darkest, the most mysterious bit. Are there any rabbits in here?
There are not. There are a lot of coppery deposits though, which is cool.
Was it copper they mined here again?
Yeah, it was copper and I believe gold at one point as well. One of the many beasts of this mine. Oh well, he was killed by his own hubris.
Now there's only 1 or 2 little bits left of the mine to explore, for which I've had to retrieve my wellies for. Hopefully these will be tall enough to withstand the water, but I think this is Simon was saying it was a drainage addict, yeah. And I'm going to see how far it goes. Oh, bugger! Yes. No! I'm not doing that again.
So that was the Tomnadashan mine. I actually really enjoyed that. It punched well above his weight. I was expecting just one small cave and that would be about it. But we got a few passages, a few different bits and pieces to look at, so I quite liked it there. And how did you feel about it, Andrew?
Well, I liked it. It's Monty Python, it's famous, and in its own right it was a really fun explore, but obviously it turned a bit sour when I decided to go and look through the drainage addict, and I forgot to test the water to see exactly how deep it was. We just assumed putting wellies on would be fine, but of course it was deeper than what the wellies offered, and one leg just got absolutely soaked. So I spent the last 15 minutes in the car with the fans on full, with my sock on top of them and my jean leg up on the other fan, and just trying to dry them out as best possible.
This is the Kilin viaduct, or Dockart viaduct, I'm not sure which name is most applicable here, and the Kilin branch railway was built in 1885, around about the time they were beginning to experiment with concrete. So what we have here is a mix of masonry on the pillars and then concrete on the underside of the arches there. So this is a very early example of a concrete or partial concrete viaduct. So as you can see, the condition isn't holding up as well as it perhaps could do. We also have cut waters there to break up the flow of the river. And yeah, it's an okay viaduct, not the best one I've ever seen, but I like it enough to give it a thumbs up.
And I like it enough to give it a 6 o'clock thumbs down. It's shabby. Look at it. It's got, what's this white stuff? What is this crap dripping off it? It looks dreadful. You know, I think they were trying to make it look all natural, but the concrete really shows. It's crumbling to bits. It's by far from the nicest thing you've ever taken us to see in terms of viaducts. It's unworthy.
You've got to admit though, the view from this viaduct is spectacular.
It is pretty spectacular, yeah. Now that's because you've got Ben Lawrence in the background doing 100% of the work. The viaduct doesn't come into it whatsoever, so we can credit the viaduct with this beautiful view.
Actually, if it wasn't for the viaduct, we wouldn't have this high ledge in which we could look at the mountains from. This would just be another forested bit of river.
Okay, point is conceded. However, we would have found somewhere else nice to get a nice view of that. You know, this is probably not the best view that you could get of that in this area.
Well, the deer fence just kind of destroy the ambience somewhat.
It does actually. We both agree that this ridiculous thing erected in the unlikely event that you have suicidal deer is pretty ridiculous.
So this is Finnlarig Castle. It apparently predates or dates back to 1609, and around the edge there used to be a moat, although obviously that's all dried up now. And apparently when this castle was active, all the commoners that were caught in the area or that they didn't like were hung on the various oak trees that surround the castle today. So yeah.
Incidentally, we're not supposed to be here either, are we? And we're pretty common.
Nope, we'd be hung right now. We were talking about, you know, death. And this is where, once you've been hung, you'll be buried. But, you know, hanging's a bit barbaric, I think. So, down you go!
Oh. You bastard, I'll get you. So Simon's down there on sort of maybe what we used to be in a staircase. Crumpled bits. I'm going to check that out too. I'm in the second floor now of Finnlarig Castle. And yeah, it looks like there would have been at least a couple more floors as well. Possibly that's the fireplace there. Yep, you can see the old stones where the steps used to go on a spiral staircase here. And you can see these little rooms here as well. And going by usual Greyburn historical analysis, we'll assume that's the toilet. And yeah, I'll just come back out to give you a better sense of the area. So this would have probably been down there, the main hall of the castle. And here there's another secret little cellar at the bottom of the castle. I guess it was just storage area perhaps, it may have been something else. I'm not too sure really. A little window there. Now I've got to go through the difficulty of getting out of here again before the roof caves in. Now you can see here the remaining two pieces of a giant chessboard. That's the king there, that's the queen there. Now, what's remarkable about the queen is she can go as many steps in every direction, whereas the king can only go one step in any direction, and it's generally just a burden that you have to look after in order to win the game. If anyone was interested, the king is called Gavin, and the queen is called Alma. So, we are on top of what, Simon?
The mausoleum which is attached to the castle, or not attached to, but next to.
Ah.
You can see the old burial spots in there. been backfilled and collapsed and all, so it's not in a particularly good condition.
I'm guessing there's no bones in these vaults anymore.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah, sorry, state of affairs. This is what happened to your mausoleum and you were still in it. But it's cool, like, this arch is interesting. I'm guessing it would have been full-sized, walk-throughable arch instead of having to crawl.
I feel like these windows here, they're quite nicely done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the mausoleum.
Yep, it was built to house the 5th Laird of Finnlarig, who was so ugly they based Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars off him. That might be a lie.
Now if you look at the top there,
Yep, I've zoomed in.
that is a plaque there, that was put up because of cattle drovers.
Yes.
So earlier on I mentioned that this dates back to 1609 and this plaque is where that information comes from. It's a very nicely done plaque, and if we look down here you got the 1609 right there and a dog that's making an unnecessary racket. But yeah, I like this place and I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
I like this place, I'll give it a thumbs up. And they like this place too, so that's our cue to go.